which is kind of uncool. Is this book like having children? Like, will I ever be ready? So like I'm kind of upset, but I feel like I can't be upset. Okay. Fine. Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sydney, or welcome if you're new. In today's video, we will be doing my Spin the Bottle TBR game for February. So hey, what's up? How are you? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me for a little bit. Feels good to be doing this TBR game again. I was really looking forward to filming it. So let's get right into talking about how I did last month. If you are new here, or if you didn't see last month's video where I changed up some of the rules, now what I do is I spin the bottle, and the idea is that I just have to fulfill that prompt. I no longer have to lock in a book, and that has to be it no matter what. I'm being kind to myself this year, giving myself some flexibility. So the 5 prompts that I got last month, I absolutely did complete. These are the 5 books that I read last month per Spin the Bottle TBR. I actually read quite a few more. I had a really great reading month. Looking forward to filming that wrap up, honestly. Who is she? But Magnolia Parks was the read a book that matched your current outfit. Empire of Gold was the nightmare pick, and it was actually Kingdom of Copper, but I read both and I finished that series. Look at me go. The tarot pick was Piranesi. Mood read was Woman Eating, and then the secret book was Project Hail Mary. And that secret project was me reading Booktubers' best books of 2022. I will link that down below. I am actually really proud of that video. I had a lot of fun making it and a lot of fun editing it. Did some cute little like title screen moments. I was just really excited about it, so I will link it down below. Please check it out. But since I completed all of those books and prompts, I get to pick from my reward jar mug. These can be as simple as a mood read, it could be a buddy read pick, it could be like swap a prompt or something, but this one is, I don't know if you could see it, it says double up on prompts. And this means that I have the opportunity to potentially make my Spin the Bottle TBR shorter, giving myself more leniency within the month to mood read, which is great actually. Wow, because February is the shortest month of the year, and I historically have always had the biggest TBR. So this actually came in pretty clutch, and I didn't even finish explaining it. So if I get 2 prompts that could relate to one book that I want to read, at the end of the game, I can get rid of a book and use that book for 2 of the prompts. But yeah, cool. I will keep this in my arsenal and we can get on into the game. As always, we will be doing 5 spins. The first one is my Patreon only spin with all the prompts being given to me from my patrons over in the greenhouse. And then after that, we will mix and mingle all the prompts and continue playing the game. So let's go on to spin number 1. I promise I shuffle the prompts. The first spin of this month, again, same as last month, is a book that matches your current outfit. I love this prompt. I think it's super fun, but it is coming up for the 2nd time this year, which is fine. I'm not mad about it. I'm wearing a shirt from a bookstagrammer that I follow, and she has an Etsy shop. I'll put the Etsy shop down below because it's so cute. I love it so much. It says Death by TBR, which is like, if that's not me, I don't know what is. I love this shirt a lot, and obviously just like my staple button-up oversized shirt because that's just who I am. So for this like outfit, I could lean into like the skeleton side and kind of choose like a spooky book or something like that. I could choose again something that goes off like aesthetics like I did last month with Magnolia Parks, or I can just kind of go into like the TBR side because it's Death by TBR, you know what I'm saying? And this next month in February is Blackathon, hosted by Jesse over at Bowties and Books, and that's another TBR, you know, Death by TBR, by putting more work on myself. So I could just choose a book off of that TBR that I have planned, so I think that's what I'm going to do. Long-winded explanation is the book I'm choosing is Bitter by Akwaeke Emezi. I'll go over at the end of the video like what books I plan to read for Blackathon and what prompts they'll fit and so on and so forth if I don't hit them already within the prompts that I spin for. But this one is Bitter by Akwaeke Emezi, and it is the sequel to Pet, and Pet is a middle grade book written by them. I really loved it. I think I gave it like 4.5 stars. I'm just not a huge middle grade fan, so I think that just took away from my enjoyment a little bit, but I honestly think that that book is so important and needs to be in every school everywhere. Oh, so Bitter is the like prequel to Pet, so it's like Pet 0.5, so I think it's following Bitter before she actually has her child, which is the main character of Pet. Okay, so this story is about Bitter attending Eucalyptus, which is like a special school for arts, but outside this haven, the streets are filled with protests against the deep injustices that grip the town of Lucille. Bitter's instinct is is to stay safe within the walls of Eucalyptus, but her friends aren't willing to settle for a world that the adults say is just the way things are. Pulled between old friendships and her creative passion and a new romance, Bitter isn't sure where she belongs, in the art studio or on the streets. And if she does find a way to help the revolution while being true to who she is, she must also ask at what cost. A Quick AMZ is one of my favorite authors. I truly just think that they are a gift to this earth. So I'm very excited to finally have this on a TBR. Now we're going to mix up all the prompts and go on to spin number 2. So we first landed on a +1 spin, so we will be adding on another spin at the end of the game, meaning that we will spin for at least 6 books in this here game today. But then I spun again and I got TBR Veteran. And if you remember, I have this handy little double up on prompts reward. So because a lot of the books that I want to get to this month are either new books or books that really weren't on my radar for too long to be considered a veteran, I'm going to use Bitter for this prompt as well. So I guess we can just go right on to spin number 3. Okay, so this is the secret space, meaning whatever book I choose for this prompt is a secret. So I can't tell you what book it is, but I will tell you that I don't have a physical copy of it. And if you're in the greenhouse, my Patreon, then you will understand what that hint might mean a little bit. So that's all I have to say here, but that means we can go into spin number 4. Spin number 4 was very kind. We got a mood read, which is phenomenal. And I'm just gonna choose the book club pick for my Patreon this month, and that is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. And how my book club works, if you don't know, is I put up polls every month for everyone to choose what books we will read together. There's a main book club pick and then a buddy read pick. The main book club pick will get a dedicated live show discussion, and then the buddy read pick, I will do a dedicated exclusive vlog for my wildflower and ecosystem tiers. And this past month, I just gave them vibes and emojis to pick the book club picks. Like, I didn't give them synopses or anything. And this is the one that came out on top. So I haven't heard many reviews from this one yet, but the few that I have been pretty positive. So I'm cautiously excited. And this edition is just absolutely to die for. It is so cute. Wow, what a time to be alive. This one says, Emily Wilde is good at many things. She is the foremost expert on the study of fairies. She's a genius scholar and a meticulous researcher who is writing the world's first encyclopedia of fairy lore. But Emily Wilde is not good at people. She prefers the company of her books and her dog, Shadow. So when she arrives in the hardscrabble village of Hransvik, Emily has no intention of befriending the gruff townsfolk, nor does she care to spend time with another new arrival, her dashing and insufferably handsome academic rival, Wendell Bambleby. Bambleby? But as Emily gets closer to uncovering the secrets of the hidden ones, the most elusive of all fairies, she also finds herself on the trail of another mystery. Who is Wendell Bambleby, and what does he really want? To find the answer, she'll have to unlock the greatest mystery of all, her own heart. So it sounds really cute and whimsical, and also could sound like an enemies to lovers, mayhaps, perhaps. So I'm looking forward to it. So now let's go on to spin number 5. So I'm really glad that I had this double up on prompts thing, because now we're spinning for 7 times, which is kind of uncool, but at least the board gave me 2 mood read picks, like sandwiched together with that second +1 spin. So like I'm kind of upset, but I feel like I can't be upset. So we will be spending 7 times now. But what I landed on was another mood read pick. So again, okay, fine. And for this mood read pick, I'm going to be choosing House of Hunger by Alexis Henderson. I'm so excited to be finally reading this. I read The Year of the Witching when it came out, and it like took over my mental space. I love that book so much, and I'm so excited to read more from this author. This one in particular is about a woman who has chosen to become a blood maid, and it says, Marion Shaw has been raised in the slums, where want and deprivation are all she knows. Despite longing to leave the city and its miseries, she has no real hope of escape until the day she spots a peculiar listing in the newspaper seeking a blood maid. Though she knows little about the far north, where wealthy nobles live in luxury and drink the blood of those in their service, Marion applies to the position. In a matter of days, she finds herself the newest blood maid in the notorious House of Hunger. There, Marion is swept into a world of debauchery, and at the center of all is the Countess Elizabeth. The Countess, who presides over this hedonistic court, is loved and feared in equal measure. She takes a special interest in Marion. Elizabeth is magnetic, and Marion is eager to please her new mistress. Hello. But when she discovers what is happening, but when she discovers that the ancient walls of House of Hunger hide even older secrets, Marion is thrust into a vicious game of cat and mouse. She'll need to learn the rules of her new home, and fast, or its halls will soon become her grave. I'm so excited. It's just going to be like this stunning, gothic, vampiric story, and with Alexis Henderson's writing, I'm very much looking forward to it. This is again on my TBR for obviously Spin the Bottle, but also for Blackathon, and this one covers quite a few prompts. This one could cover the prompt of a main character who is black and unapologetic and loud and takes up space. Also, a setting that takes place in predominantly the same location slash has like very interesting architecture, and apparently this also works for that. Also, the book has a study on wealth slash classism, and I'm just really looking forward to getting into this story and finally reading it. And now we can go on to spin number 6. With spin number 6, we got Read a Fave's Fave. And there are quite a few things that I could do for this. But what I think I'm going to do is choose a book that I'm going to be doing for a video with Caleb this next month, and I'm having him read a romance book with me, and we're going to vlog it together. And the power of what book is in your guys' hands. I put a poll up on Instagram with 4 or 5, I don't even remember, of potential books to read for this video, and the overwhelming winner is going to be Ice Planet Barbarians by Ruby Dixon, which honestly I'm not mad about for Caleb's sake, because this will be at least interesting for him. And I'm choosing this for this prompt of a fave's fave because I know it's one of Christine's favorite books from the Roomies Digest. So, Christine, now's your time. Well, really, now it's our time to experience this story that you love so much. Do I even need to like give you a synopsis? But okay. Oh my god, the synopsis of this is hilarious. It says, you'd think being abducted by aliens would be the worst thing that could happen to me, and you'd be wrong. Because now the aliens are having ship trouble, and they've left their cargo of human women, including me, on an ice planet. And the only native inhabitant I've met, he's big, horned, blue, and really has a thing for me. Okay, this is the book for this prompt. I never really thought that I would read this book, but here we are. And also here is Caleb, so we're buckling in. And now we can go on to hopefully the last spin of this video, which is spin number 7. These prompts always make me so nervous because I have no control, you know, I can't choose something. So the prompt is read the top rated book on your like Goodreads want to read. Oh, okay, so let's go. I will screen record and sort it by average rating, and let's just see what we get. Oh boy. Okay, so obviously it's Words of Radiance and The Way of Kings are the top. Yeah, The Tempest of Tea is here, but that's not out yet. And obviously Six of Crows 3 isn't out yet either. A Fire Endless is also up there. I'm trying to see if maybe my buddy read pick is here, and it's not, which I'm really surprised about. But wow. Okay, so the legitimate answer to this prompt would be, oh my god. The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. And I really want to read this. But in February, there's 28 days in February. This book is 1,000 pages. Like, it doesn't look as huge, but these are Bible pages, okay? Like, these are the thinnest, like, rice paper-like things in the world. Like, it's crazy. It sounds like a Bible. It's crazy. So, this is the legitimate answer. But again, this year we're being kind to ourselves. This one could be the answer to this prompt, but if I don't get to The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson, because I do have a lot of other books that aren't on this TBR that I plan on reading. So if I don't get to this like insane chunker this month, I will be going with the next one on the list, which is A Fire Endless by Rebecca Ross. This is the final book, like that's a duology of the Elements of Cadence series. I mean, this book's long too. It's 500 pages, so it's half the length of the other one. And I mean, it would be nice to read this one because then that means I am finishing another series that I started last year, early this year. So that would be really nice. So I'm going to be giving myself some grace with this prompt, and one of these will be read this next month. All right, one of them. I can't tell you which one because I don't know how the month is going to go, but this is the start of a new series, book 1 in the Stormlight Archive, and it's one that I, again, have been wanting to read. It just hasn't been the time. I don't know if it will ever be the time. Is this book like having children? Like, will I ever be ready? It's a high fantasy by Brandon Sanderson, and I know I'm going to be obsessed with it. I know I'm going to love it. But again, I don't know if it's the month for it. Fire Endless is the sequel in the duology of A River Enchanted. A River Enchanted is about an island named Cadence, basically, and our main character, Jack, hasn't been back to the island in quite some time, but he's being called back because a lot of girls have been going missing, and they think that Jack is the only person that can help them figure out who and why and where they are and all of these things. So it's interesting. It was fun. I gave it a 4, and I'd like to see where it goes and how it ends. So it would be nice to finish out this duology. But again, who knows? I will keep both of these on my little like TBR shelf to, you know, keep as possibilities. Okay, now I'm going to go through a few other books that I plan on reading this month that didn't make it onto the actual Spin the Bottle TBR. And this first one is Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel. This is the buddy read pick for my book club this month, and I believe it won Best Sci-Fi of 2022 on Goodreads Choice Awards, which is why I was surprised it wasn't on my top rated. But I guess it is what it is. This one in particular is a novel of art, time, love, and plague that takes the reader from Vancouver Island in 1912 to a dark colony on the moon nearly 500 years later, unfurling a story of humanity across centuries and space. Kayla read some of the Goodreads Choice Awards this past year, and he read this one and How High We Go in the Dark, and he said they reminded them of each other very much for him, and he thinks that I would really enjoy this one, so I'm really looking forward to it because I loved How High We Go in the Dark, and I also just really love this cover too. I think it's really pretty. Another book I will be reading for Blackathon in particular, because if you haven't noticed, I have declared Team Hot Chipset. And the group book for that team is She Would Be King by Wateu Moore. And the way that Jesse spoke about this book in their recommendation video or their just like announcement video for Blackathon really sold it for me. I'm very excited to read this story. Quick little brief is it has magical realism, which obviously is a thing that kind of sold it for me in and of itself, but magical realism and history, a dazzling retelling of Liberia's formation. Wateu Moore's powerful debut novel, She Would Be King, reimagines the dramatic story of Liberia's early years through 3 unforgettable characters who share an uncommon bond. And it tells you about your 3 main characters, and it goes on to say, Moore's intermingling of history and magical realism finds voice not just in these 3 characters, but also in the fleeting spirit of the wind, who embodies an ancient wisdom. If she was not a woman, the wind says of Gabiza, she would be king. And I'm so excited. I think it's gonna be phenomenal. The cover's really pretty. I'm excited. And then I have like 5 other books that I want to read for a specific video. I don't know if I'll read all 5 of them, honestly, but these ones are interwoven with that secret prompt that I landed on earlier, so I'm not even gonna tell you what they are. Because I don't even know which of the 5 I will particularly read, but I know I'll read at least some of them. So there are a few other books as well that I plan to get to this month, and you should see that vlog in the first half of the month anyways, so just patience. patience. So there are definitely a couple books on this month's TBR that are interchangeable. I don't know exactly what my wrap up will look like from this month, but I'm excited for all of the books that are potentially ones that I'll read, especially the ones that I haven't told you about. Honestly, I'm like really excited about those. So yeah, stay tuned for the wrap up, those vlogs that I'm hinting at. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great February. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me for a little bit. If you are still watching, then leave the fairy emoji down below in the comments. And while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. I always appreciate your support. And of course, be kind to one another and happy reading. Bye.